You've said you would deliver and you didn't. So you are 100% accountable. One of the key concepts I want to get across today is that over-promising and under-delivering is without a doubt one of the quickest ways to make your name mud in any environment. And anyone who's followed my content for any length of time will know that I'm a massive advocate for reframing things and shifting mindsets around certain concepts to make things as simple as possible and to make them as easily understandable as possible. So one of the ways in which I did this for myself was to imagine I was a product or a service. If I purchased a product or a service that promised to deliver X, and once I used that product or service it actually didn't fulfill whatever it said on the tin, I would be an absolute moron to then purchase that product again to solve the problem that I originally purchased it for, because it didn't solve that problem. The same then applies for you as a person. You should see yourself as a product or a service, whereby if you say to someone that you will do X, Y, or Z, that's your verbal contract to them. That should be an unbreakable bond between you and that person, and you should do whatever it takes to deliver on what it is that you said you would deliver. Like, there's nothing worse than someone saying they'll do something and they don't deliver on it, because you had expectations of them delivering. You've said you would deliver and you didn't. So you are 100% accountable. The problem is that you now haven't only broken trust with them, you've broken trust with yourself. And there's a snowball effect to this, because now all of a sudden you can't even be accountable for your own actions. You can't even hold yourself accountable because you've overpromised and underdelivered on so many occasions that your word actually means nothing. So your verbal contracts mean nothing. This then chips away at your own confidence levels, and then it's like a massive snowball effect whereby you no longer deliver on anything, because you're like, well, I've said this before and I didn't do it, so what's the point in trying now, kind of thing. By you saying you'll do something, you're creating a verbal contract which should be your version of an unbreakable clause that's stipulated that you would do whatever it is you said you were going to do. If you then didn't deliver on that, well, you've broken your contract and you've broken your word. Therefore, in future, when someone asks you to do something, or you say you're going to do something for someone, you've already now tainted your reputation with that person, because you've let them down previously. And once that happens, you start having this massive chain of events whereby you then start damaging your own self-confidence, because your word is not worth anything, because you've said you're going to do stuff so many times and never delivered that your confidence levels will start diminishing as well, off the back of the fact that you never actually accomplish anything. Like, the quickest way to build confidence is to deliver on things that you say you're going to deliver, because then you know that you can hold your own self accountable. One of the biggest things, like as a consultant, you turn up to a place and they need you to do X, Y, and Z. You then know whether you can deliver on that or not. So you obviously quote them based on that, and then you determine whether you can add any sort of value anywhere along the line. So if I can do the tasks that they're after, plus a few extra, well, now I've pretty much under-promised and over-delivered, which is way better, and it leaves people thinking that they've got a lot more value out of employing me or having me with them in their organization, which is making them more likely to then use my services in the future, or even give me a glowing reference moving forward. I found that imagining myself as a product or a service was incredibly helpful when it came to holding myself accountable and ensuring that I don't overpromise and underdeliver. Now, after watching this video, you might find that this is actually something that applies to you, and hopefully this is a solution to your problem. On the other hand, you might think I'm talking a load of shit and you want to throw a load of hate my way. Truth is, I give no